Welcome to another exciting edition of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And we do BOLOs every Saturday. And we're kind of mixing it up this Saturday a little bit. What actually usually happens is Mr. Magazine goes into his listings and finds 5 to 7 items to change it up a little, things that he thinks worthy to talk about.
Sure.
And I go to find 5 to 7 items that Paperboy has sold that I think have interesting stories or you'll be able to find out there. What we ended up doing today is I actually went into Mr. Magazine's listings and found things that I thought were worthy of talking about that he may have overlooked, and he did the same thing for my stuff. So it should be kind of an interesting little change up over here because it's kind of an outsider's perspective. Sometimes Mr. Magazine may have sold stuff that he's like, well, I sell that all the time. There's no big deal. Why would I mention it? Just because he wouldn't even think to mention it, and vice versa. So hopefully you do enjoy this. Do comment down below if you do like the change up, because we may do it from time to time. And why don't you take it away, Mr. Magazine?
Well, I'd like to say that I want to call this Bizarro BOLOs. Paperboy wasn't a big fan of it, but I think it's cool.
There you go.
All right. So this is a Darren Clark signed golf ball, Titleist Pro with COA.
Now you probably want to know why I brought this up.
Sure.
The reason why I brought this up is take a look at that signature. And my question to you, because I know you deal in autographs regularly,
Yep.
how do you authenticate visually a signature on a golf ball? Because if you go online and you take a look at his signature in a magazine, I guarantee you it does not look like that.
Correct. And for starters, I want to say I bought an extensive golf ball collection of around 300 balls about during COVID, I think, a year or so ago.
That's a lot of balls.
Yes. It's a local pro who also is a lawyer, and I've been dealing with him for years and years and years, and he just called up and said, you know what, I'm downsizing. I want to buy a nice Rolex watch. I want to keep the best of the balls, sell you the rest. And then, we went back and forth. First, we didn't have an agreement. Then he called me back and said, how about this? And I'm like, fine, let's get it over with. So I ended up buying the golf balls. Most of them have been sitting in the corner still getting ready to be listed, but we have listed some and sold some along the way. And I trust him that he got everything right in front of him.
Right.
And it does look similar to other photos and so forth of this particular player. So.
Well, I guess my question is, take the grading. Can you get that professionally graded?
Yeah, they will grade golf balls as well, and they would go with another golf ball as their norm, or they might go off. If there wasn't ever a golf ball signed, which is highly unlikely, they would with some type of signature that they would be basing it off of.
Yeah, just an interesting question, because obviously it's a lot more difficult to. Sure. A, you've got the dimples. Yeah. B, it's such a smaller surface area.
Well, and the hardest part was when with my employee and myself, like, what is the best way to list these and store them? So we had egg crates, and we put the balls in the egg crates, and then we kind of numbered rows. So one across might be 1 through 10, and then down might be A through Z. So then now when they sell the the DBG 29. I think it's in tray 1, the 29th ball, and so forth. So
very good
because say they got jostled or something. Oh my God, what are we going to do? So now we can match them up very easily and stay organized.
Because I'm just trying to think in my head the famous golfer Hortense McGillicuddy. What would his signature look like?
That's a tough one. Yeah. Especially that he signs at HM. So
All right, if you want to go on to the next one.
All right, 100% whole grain Wheaties, Muhammad Ali, the greatest box. Yep.
Now, the reason I brought this one up was because, well, number one, my first question is that full or not full?
It is a full box.
Is there a major difference in value between full and empty?
I think there's a little bit. The full goes for a little bit more, but I think if they're flat, they go for less, more than they normally would. Okay. So the highest price would be full, untouched, because a lot of people like to store them in those acrylic containers, so that you don't have to worry about the food. Secondly, opened and still intact like that, and then third would be flat.
Flattened. Okay. Yeah. And are there? I know you. When I was going through your sales, I know you had a few of them that sold. How are they value-wise, and is there anything to look out? Because you can find these out there regularly.
Yeah, you definitely can find them. I would say at the very least they're going to be $10, but they could be as high as I think early Jordans and certain early ones. I think Bruce Jenner. Hundreds of dollars.
Okay. So, kind of interesting. Yeah. And again, that's kind of what we wanted to do in this one over here. Just ask questions like that because I'm looking from the outside. You dealt with a lot of those. Sure. You didn't bring them up because why are you going to bring up an $18 item?
We'll have to teach this lister to do the zoom in.
No, that is very true. Sure. Yep. Very good.
All right, next up. Men's Fitness, Vin Diesel, Joey Votto. All right.
Now, the reason I brought this up is two reasons. Number one, it's a 2011 magazine, so it's fairly new, just to show that you can find this out there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up to illustrate Vin Diesel. Isn't there another Fast and the Furious, like 9 or something like that?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I think they morphed his arms and make them bigger than they really are, but we don't really know that.
I'm not saying that to his face.
No.
But
yes, it is coming out.
Yep, and so that's probably why this ended up selling.
And I think it went for $20, so not too bad for a 10-year-old magazine.
10-year-old magazine, yep. So I guess just want to bring this up because regularly we say watch what's coming out, watch what's in the news, and a lot of things sell. Another thing that I almost brought up was, she's a black rap star, and she's been in the news lately. Was it Queen Latifah? I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
And you sold one of her items as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just these people start trending. There's things about them, and all of a sudden they sell. So definitely follow the news. And if you see that, oh my gosh, there's a Fast and the Furious coming out, and you've got a couple of Vin Diesel things, get them listed because they will sell.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yes, I remember this. Very, very cool. I don't know if it really looks like them, but yeah.
Gene Simmons Kiss Catalog, 1997 full head latex mask with tags, Halloween. I just brought this up just kind of as a reminder to people out there that, number one, Kiss stuff sells.
Yeah.
And number two, this did go for $90.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah, and you might find this kind of thing out there from a Kiss collector, or somebody may have bought it and worn it for a Halloween or two and then said, oh, what am I keeping this around for? And may sell it for $15, $20. So this is something you can find out there.
Sure.
So just wanted to bring that up because you hadn't brought that up. I know you do often bring up Kiss items.
Right, yeah.
But this was not one that you had brought up. So it definitely jumps out at you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Scary.
Yes, it is.
All right. Bishop Kearney High School Kings Band record through the years.
And again, this is something that you would not have brought up because it only sold for $10. Right. What is Bishop Kearney High School?
It is a local high school.
Who is their most famous alumni?
That I should know and don't, or you're going to remind me.
Wasn't it Tom Golisano?
Oh,
I believe Mr. Golisano went there.
All right.
Started Paychecks worth gazillion dollars.
Yeah.
Dated, what was her name?
Monica Salas?
Yep, Monica Salas.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but I just wanted to bring this up because we have videos and we stress it all the time. Know what's around you locally.
Yeah. And I think this didn't sell to someone in Rochester. It was like out of state as well. Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of interesting as well. But you could find this locally, and I'm sure a lot of your local high schools probably had something or other like this as well. You know, it was obviously when it was brought out, it was aimed at the parents and the people in the school at the time. And, you know, some of the old alumni would have bought it, grandparents would have bought it. But what could the press run of this possibly have been? A thousand, a couple hundred,
maybe, you know.
Something or other like that. I'm sure they were custom made by a local pressing plant, and they came out. So there are not a lot of them out there, and they do sell. You know, they don't fly off the shelves, but they do sell.
Right, yeah.
Keeping with the theme of records.
Oh, surprising this made it on eBay. It's generally a good seller on the other platform.
That was why I brought it up, because I know it's chilling, thrilling sounds at a haunted house, Disneyland, $20, $21. This sells all the time.
All the time.
And all the time.
It's common. I mean, literally, if you told me I had 100 of these over the years, I probably would believe it.
Yep, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up, because again, it isn't something you would bring up,
right?
But people can find it out there regularly. It's out there. It's out there all the time, and you got $20 in. And the other interesting thing too is you sold that now.
Right.
Wait till around Halloween.
Yeah.
Those fly off the shelf.
Could
at
be
Halloween.
$40 by that time. Yeah.
They definitely fly off the shelf.
Sure.
Old West Magazine, the ancient eel trail.
Eel trail. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my eyes aren't so good anymore. Fall 1980. $20. And the reason I brought that up is I probably have walked by hundreds of those and never bought them.
Well, I've thrown some out over my time as well. Yeah.
But you got $20 out of it plus shipping.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I never would have listed. And it looks like that would be an older listing. It may have taken a while to list sell for you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even look like the table of contents is up.
No, definitely not.
But I've been selling at this game for a long time.
Yeah.
And I probably would have taken that and listed it on Amazon if it was on Amazon, and probably would have gotten $6 out of it. Yeah. You got $24 out of it with shipping.
Yeah.
It just goes to show.
Yeah.
Something or other that I've been doing this a long time, and I never would have bothered listing it. Yet you got $24 out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that not a lot of people sell because they probably consider it junk or low value. But you know, we may have bought a collection and put 100 or 200 on, and we may sell one every 6 months. But you know, like you said, for $20, it's worth it.
Yeah, you probably didn't pay $20 for the whole collection, or maybe you paid $40 for the whole collection. You sell two, you're out of it, and then everything after it's gravy.
Sure.
So I think that was a little bit interesting thing there in the various things that you had listed, because I think it gives a a lot of tips to people out there that you wouldn't have brought, because why would you?
Exactly.
It looks like the next thing is something other than I sold. And you're going to tell me why you brought it up and any questions you might have. And you're going, I am?
Oh, exciting, yes.
The Spokane Book, Washington, William C. Morris, 1914 Caricatures of City Leaders.
Well, the main reason I want to bring you props, because a lot of times you put your $10 items up. So I want to put on value stuff, higher end stuff. So people know, hey, you're not just $10, $20, you're also a $200 guy too.
Yep, and this is something other that I don't know any of the people from Spokane. I wanted to show that, but I showed a whole bunch. Well, I say I did. Somewhere or other over here, if I could click. Well, I swear I did. I showed pictures of the various caricatures and that kind of stuff. And I listed, well, I guess I didn't list.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had listed some of the names of the people in there. That's where I'm at a bit of a disadvantage. I know about as much as you do about 1914 Spokane, Washington. Don't know anything at all about it.
Yeah.
I know I ended up buying this in a lot, and I think I paid $10 for it or something other like that. I ended up taking $150 out of it, which I'm more than happy to take, because my way of looking at it is, when am I going to end up selling it again? And that's pretty good money back on something or other. Yeah. But thank you.
Sure, you got it.
The next thing I have up over here is Hunting World Your Mark of Good Taste Catalog 1973.
I just thought it was weird because it says Hunting World, and now we're talking about jewelry and shoes and clothes. So is that stuff you would wear when you're hunting?
I don't actually know. Especially you see the pattern on the front there and everything like that. It definitely does look. Now, this is an older listing, and for some reason I didn't put any other pictures up, which I definitely would do now.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing, this actually sold to somebody locally, believe it or not,
okay.
which I don't know why they bought it locally, but thank you for buying it. Definitely do appreciate it. But again, even you're bringing it up, I see so many places that I would have improved the listing now.
Right.
That was before the CZUR Scanner, so it was a scan. Back in the day, it was difficult to do. You don't want to break the spine doing a scan, and then if it bows, it doesn't have a good picture on it. Now I would hold it down with the CZUR Scanner, crop my hand out, et cetera, et cetera. So it did sell for $17, but it wasn't a very good listing, to be honest with you. So thank you for bringing one of my shortcomings.
Oh, no problem.
Next thing we have over here. Lovers Beneath an Umbrella in the Snow, Suzaki Harunobu. I think I went to a different school than him. Print.
I'm just liking the art prints and stuff. You got me starting to buy stuff, so it's just one of those things. And remember, years ago, I have sold these. So, these types of prints. So I'm kind of familiar with some of the art, Japanese art and so forth. So.
Yep, and it's a whole different world into all that stuff. It's telling prints and first prints and all that kind of stuff. I had no idea at all the age. I just kind of listed it as it was. I think it ended up going for like $30 out of it, and I got it thrown in a lot, so I was quite happy to take that out of it.
Sure.
But yeah, I almost brought that up just to talk about, because again, I'm starting to get into art as well.
Right, and look what it goes for.
Yeah, cannot argue with that.
Yep.
Next thing over here, Lucky Strike Cigarettes Bookmark a lot of 3 Mystery League.
Yeah, it was just a cool looking piece. The Mystery League kind of, it was mysterious to me.
That actually is the Mystery League was actually almost like a book club kind of deal. So they were able to get Lucky Strike to advertise on the one side of it, and then they use it as your bookmark, and then the other side was about them and telling all about them. Mm-hmm. Kind of neat. And actually, I almost brought this up because I made a big mistake on this. I took a lot less than I should have on it because I did not check into something or other beforehand.
Oh, really?
I did not realize what I was asking on it. The gentleman said, I only want the Mystery League bookmarks, not the Lucky Strike bookmarks. Well, they're the same bookmark.
Yeah.
They're both sides.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
He goes, would you take $15? Well, I wasn't paying attention, and I said, sure. I ended up taking $15 on something or other that I was asking $51 because I didn't look at
$45.
Yep, I did not look at the listing
Gotcha.
beforehand, and I said, yeah, that's fine. Now I didn't pay anything for it because it was in the bottom of a box lot, so I still made money.
Yeah,
but I messed up. So definitely do look, and I almost brought that up but I didn't. I said, nobody will know about it. And then you brought it up and called me out. Thanks.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thanks. That's why the show's
great.
This
is a fun game. I like this.
And we're never doing this again, by the way. BCW BOLO, bye. And the last thing we have over here, African Tribesman and Society couple, Oscar Cesar, original art, 1920s spear shield.
I thought this was a cool piece and, higher end item and, your new niche.
Yep. And again, we talk about the, and I did zoom in a little bit, as you can tell from picture 1 to 2.
Yeah.
But it's such a wide item that I couldn't really zoom in without taking away from it. If you look down over here, it's 10 by 18 and a half.
Unless you just zoomed in on that right there.
Right, which
yeah.
I did right there, but I
yeah.
thought that the overall picture was a better one.
Yeah.
I did pick that up at Heritage, made some decent money out of it. I think it did go for the 179 out of it.
Cool.
But again, that did jump out at me when I listed it. Very,
Right.
very happy on that listing, and it is really, really well done.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know, he was a famous political cartoonist back in, well, how famous, I guess, if I have
Right.
to tell you who he is.
Sure.
But political cartoonist back in the 1920s and 30s. So kind of neat items on there. And again, you did bring up 2 pieces of art there that I ended up selling, which again is what I'm trying to pivot
Right.
into.
Sure.
Do comment down below, especially if you like this format. I think we may do it from time to time because it gives it a little different insight. Because again, some of these things I wouldn't have thought to bring up, some of these things you wouldn't have thought to bring up, and it's kind of an outsider taking a look at what's sold. Kind of give a little different perspective. So hopefully you did like that. Do hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.